All right, so to wrap up lesson 7 here, I don't know how much of the rants I've been putting on here. I was ranting for a long time. So anyways, or rambling, I guess you could say. But let's get up to some serious stuff and finish this lesson. Let's talk about the empty hand versus weapon rule. Okay, so you are sitting here without a weapon, and the guy has a gun, a knife, a stick in front of you. Okay, the one thing you really have to be thinking about is you want to trade a minor injury for the ability to neutralize the threat's attack. So you can't sit here and this guy has a gun on you and think that there's no chance in hell that I'm going to get shot. This works well with the reality thing we're just talking about. You can't be thinking there's no chance in hell I'm going to be shot. You can't be thinking there's no chance in hell I'm going to get cut. You can't be thinking there's no chance in hell that that stick ain't going to hit me somewhere and hurt like a mother. Okay? You can't be thinking about that. What you have to be thinking about is I got to go through my stuff, and hopefully I'm only going to take a minor injury and I'm going to be able to neutralize this guy's attack. So what we are saying is that we can't avoid a major injury by just defending the attack with blocks or by just trying to control the knife hand or the gun. Okay? We're not going to be able to defend a major injury by just defending the attack or the weapon. Okay? Many people killed by knives have been found with defensive wounds all over their arms and their hands. Okay? So they're blocking this knife like a big dog. I had it happen with a bat when I was in a fight when I was younger. This guy is hitting me with a bat, and I blocked the bat twice with one hand, and then my hand just fell like unusable. I was upside down in a bush. That's easy to believe. I blocked the bat with my foot twice, and it just ceased to function. I blocked the bat with my other foot 2 times, and it ceased to function. And then my left hand was weak, and I blocked it 1 time, and this hand went down, and here I was. Couldn't move my limbs because they had been smashed by this freaking bat. And now I don't know if you can see this scar here, but this little indentation right up here, somewhere right up here, there's a little, yeah, there it is right there. That dent right there is from a bat in the head, which knocked me unconscious. Fortunately, the cavalry arrived just as that shot gave its hollow sound, because there's nothing in my head. And the cavalry arrived and with a 2x4 and chased the guy off. So I got up and I went to a nice, what was it? It was near Air Force Base, so I went to a nice Air Force base, and they were able to stitch me up for free. And away I went. That was like a Thanksgiving weekend, and you know, I show up at breakfast the next morning from Mom and Dad, and my mom is like, "Are you still doing all that fighting?" That's all she said. She brought me my eggs and bacon, and that was all that was said about it the rest of the week.
So what, you were just bruised up real bad?
No, I had stitches in my head.
No, I mean like your arms.
Yeah, it was just weird. I mean, it wasn't an actual baseball bat. It was, you know, a pole, you know, a piece of wood, you know, but it was a length of a bat, and this guy had it in his car. It might have been an axe handle or some shit like that, but this guy had this in his car for beating up guys, you know, that type of stuff. And what had happened was they said something about a gun, so me and my partner took off. Well, later on, they found us driving around the blocks, you know, this type of stuff. They seen us walking down the road. They jumped out, and because I thought they still had a gun, we started to run. I wound up slipping. As I went around a corner, this big guy grabbed me, and so the other guy went after my little brother because I had already beat up the little guy. I call a guy my size, a little guy. So the little guy went running after my partner because I had already beat the little guy up at the bar, right? So now the thing was, we'll put the big guy on him, right? Yeah. So anyways, the big guy like pins me down and he's choking me, and you know, this is when I first learned that those pressure points, you know, a bunch of bullshit. Because this guy's just choking. I mean, he was huge compared to me. Back then I'm 165, you know, 5'10", 165. Yeah. This guy was, you know, your size, but huge. And so I'm trying everything I can to get his hands off my throat, and I'm starting to realize that I'm about to go unconscious. And I realize once I go unconscious, you know, this guy is going to do whatever he wants from me. He's probably going to stomp me, right? So I take my fingers, and I'd already learned the finger technique, but we didn't learn it like that. We learned it, you know, this way here, where you hit with your fingers this way. And I used to be able to do that, but I can't because my hand got blown up. but so I can't show you accurately, but you know I can with this hand. So I stuffed my fingers into his eye, and the best part was I felt juice on my fingers, like all the way to this second joint right here. I mean, my finger just was like in and behind his fucking eyeball, and he lets out a scream, like just a death scream, you know. So now he's standing over me. So now I just freaking like hammer his balls with a palm strike, and I just freaking squeeze him. Now it's, you know, now it's my turn to fuck around. You know, who's in control now? That's what I'm about, predator, right? So freaking I grab his balls. Well, he starts screaming. He brings a hand down to grab his balls. Well, at that point, I take his hand and I put a finger in my mouth, and I chomp down on his freaking finger to try to bite his finger off. I hear the bone freaking breaking when I'm biting. You know, like that. So he screams for the third time now, and he yanks his hand out of my mouth, and I go, "Are you gonna get the fuck out of here now?" I'm upside down in this bush, by the way, like this, and he's choking me this way. So now he's like, "Yeah, I'm going." And he goes away. So I'm like, thank God, man, that motherfucker was gonna kill me. And at that point, then all of a sudden I see the bat coming at me, and so it's like, block the bat, 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 block the bat. Oh fuck! And then unconsciousness. That was a good fight. Anyway,
Sounds like a good fight.
yeah. If you're out there watching this video, big guy, sorry about that. All right. So anyways, so what are we talking about here? What we're talking about is many people killed by knives have been found with defensive wounds all over their arms and hands. And the longer we try to control an attacker's knife hand, the closer we are getting to the point where the hand will slip free. We have a very good chance of surviving a single wound. However, the more wounds we receive from a knife, club, firearm, or the less our chances for survival. So again, the more wounds you get, the greater the chance that you're not going to survive that. You know, medicine is very good nowadays. You know, they can bring you back if they can get you to a hospital in most cases, except for, you know, these terribly fatal shots to the freaking brain housing unit. You got big problems. You know, one stab to the heart, one shot to the heart, you still got a chance, man, if they can get you in there before you've fully just bled out and are dry. So anyways, we have a very good chance of surviving the single wound. However, as those accumulate, our chance of survival lessen greatly. Let's see. We have to neutralize the thing that is controlling the weapon. In this case, for this course, the knife. So that's the key thing. What do you have to do? You don't neutralize the weapon. You have to neutralize the thing that is controlling the weapon, and that is Buddy. You know, you got to get a finger in his eye and get him thinking about other stuff than choking you out, stabbing you out, shooting you, pounding you with a club or whatever. So again, the drills in this lesson have given us some unarmed skills to combat weapon-wielding threats, so that we can have a chance to dictate the action and take control of the threat's ability to continue the attack. That's a big thing. We have to take control of the threat's ability to continue the attack. Exactly how we achieve the principles of unarmed attacks versus an armed threat is not important. Is not as important as just doing something that will make the threat think about defense or discontinuing the attack instead of attacking. So again, do I have to stop this knife and disarm this knife or something like that? No, all I got to do is get him to think about something other than attacking me. One of the easiest ways to do that, again, is fingers in the eyes. Fingers in the eyes. This guy has to reel back. He has to pay attention to that. There's nothing you can do to not be affected by that, except for maybe bath salts and you're real hungry for a face. And I don't have any frame of reference there, you know. And of course, I'm just kind of joking. I mean, you get a finger stuffed in your eye, and your thought process is no longer about I want to kill Jimmy. You know, your thought process is how can I make that thing stop going in my eye?
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you have to, how can I get it out of my eye and make him stop damaging my eye? And again, if you do damage the eye, or both eyes, you know, this guy, he's out of the fight. He doesn't have the control center to control this weapon with anymore, because observation is critical. It's one of the, you know, parts of the OODA loop.
He's probably never fought without eyes.
Definitely never fought without eyes. I mean, you know, if you're a big fan of Kung Fu, and you've tried to, you know, the old TV show, and you've tried to fight with your eyes closed, I'm sure it didn't take you long to realize that fighting with while blind is great in a TV show, but it's not so great while you're out there on the streets in an actual fight, especially fighting for your life. You know, it's just so anyways, to go on, for example, if we are sticking our fingers in his eye sockets, he will be so busy trying to get our fingers out of his eyes that he will not have a chance to think about how to slash our throat. Of course, always keep looking for an avenue of escape as a major priority. If we are not there, we have neutralized the threat's ability to attack us. And again, that's where awareness starts. You know, if we're not there when the guy's ready to attack us, well, that was good self-defense. Yeah. On the other hand, if something goes wrong and we're on to plan C here, which is we now have to defend ourselves from this attack, well, the best thing is to get this guy's mind off of the attack and on to something else, so that then we can either finish him or we can escape. And that wraps up lesson 7 about as much as I ever need to wrap it up. Now we're getting wet here in the ring. I got a guy at work who works with me who, I don't know, how can I say it? Too young to understand the realities of life, but thinks he really understands stuff. You know what I'm saying? Has guns, has knives, never trained in any of them. Thinks it's going to be just like the movies. You know, you both will have your guns out at 10 paces, and you know, because he's a young guy, he's going to outgun you down. You know.
The quick and the dead, easy.
Yeah, the quick and the dead. Him being the dead, the guy who trained, or the guy who's been on the streets fighting, being the quick. And it's a lot. It's like that for a lot. I always talk about, one of the things I always talk about was I saw a video on YouTube. One of the most, I've never found it again. Somebody took it down, I think. But one of the most amazing videos I've ever seen when you talk about somebody not accepting the realities of life as they're playing out in front of them right now. So there's a counter. Let me kind of think what we can do here. So let's say there's a counter over here. There's a counter here, and the guy behind here is the guy at the store, and I'm the bad guy. Now over here is the exit, and what happens is they like have one of those areas where it's like a door here and a door here. Yeah. So there's a door over there and a door here. So to leave the store, I'm going to have to run over here, go through this door into this little entryway, and then turn this way and go out a door over there. So this guy goes to rob the store. He gets the money, he grabs the money, and he turns to run. As soon as he turns, this guy is like reaching underneath the counter, grabbing his gun. And his gun is there ready to shoot, because when he pops up, he fires. Now this guy, like, all of a sudden is like, you see him like this. I don't know if he gets hit or if he just hears a shot, but he goes into turtle. You know, he's into instinctual, kept us alive for 2 million years mode, where, you know, he's like this. And he turns like this. Now as he turns, a lady comes walking by right here. She comes walking by, this guy turns and shoots, this guy shoots, and this lady just like, walks in the store. She don't duck. She don't look at this guy with the gun. She don't look at that guy with the gun. In her mind, whatever's happening can't be happening. It must be a movie. Yeah. It's 2 kids playing around. But this lady just like, just literally, this guy's going here. He's shooting. This guy's shooting. She turns this way. And as she turns, the bullets go right where she was as this guy continues to shoot as he goes out. I mean, it was the most amazing video I've ever seen. And just, you know, validates, you know, everything that I've ever heard during my training through all the years. I mean, I've never seen anybody like that in real life. You know, but the guys that I hang out with and the guys that I used to go fight with, let's say, you know, were guys who understood reality. Bikers and other military guys understand the reality, and that was usually who I was hanging out with or who I was fighting. You know, that type of stuff. A couple college kids, but I can't tell some of them stories. I can't tell all my stories. I'm not, you know, certain about statute of limitations. I'm not an expert, and I don't really want to incriminate myself with certain misdeeds that I did. But you know, yeah. But by far, I mean, you know, how the hell did I get here? Reality.
You just put the chair up there and started talking. Yeah,
but where did that story come before that? Anyways, maybe I can edit this thing and get back to where I was.
You said the guy that you work with is unaware of reality.
Oh yeah. So I'm just talking about, you know, there are people out there who are completely unaware of realities of things, and I mean that's an extreme case that I just said right there. But other stuff, you own a gun and you leave your gun in your glove box when you walk into the gas station, ding, 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 you are not living in reality. Because where do you think you're going to get robbed? While you're sitting in your car and you have time to get your glove box open and get your weapon out? Or is it more likely going to be once you step out of your car with your keys in your hand and this guy wants your car or your wallet? Now your gun's over there. Ding, 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 ding. Wake up call. Reality calling. Reality calling. Go get your freaking concealed weapons permit. Scott doesn't have a concealed weapon permit. I'm not talking to you about that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny how that came up. But you know, you need if you're gonna carry a gun, have a thing. Where do you keep your gun at home? When you go to bed at night.
Nightstand. Yeah.
Nightstand when you go to bed. It's okay spot. It's okay. It's okay spot. But if that guy is quiet enough to get into your house, quiet enough to get in your bedroom. Now who's going to be? Well, I mean,
I keep my door locked.
Yeah, these are things you have to do. I mean, my gun is also, you know, not. I used to sleep with my gun under my pillow. I'm thinking in that mode right now. Now I don't. Now it is in a safer space, and you got to remember, where's the guy think your gun is?
Probably right next to my nightstand.
Right in your nightstand. I mean, so I don't keep mine in my nightstand. I keep it in a little different area where a guy would really have to know me to know where that gun is. You know what I'm saying? Whereas everybody else, they're going to go for the nightstand, I think, you know, at nighttime. Got your arms crossed, feeling a little defensive?
No, I keep my door locked, and my nightstand is on the other side of my bed, away from the door, so it's in a safer,
so you're smart. Yes, that's, yeah. So he's got a long way to go to get there.
Yeah. You'd have to climb over me in bed.
And again, that's stuff you have to think about. This is stuff that you definitely have to think about, you know? That's reality. What are some other realities? I mean, carrying a knife and not knowing how to use a knife. You know, you guys see it all the time. You guys have friends out there, they got the knife, they got the knife, they got the knife, they got the knife. Have they ever done anything with a knife other than cut a steak? You know what I'm saying? I mean, when was the last time let's say this, what does 100% of their knife usage have to deal with? Is any of it combat training related? Or is it, you know, I cut my steak, I cut the chicken before I put it on the grill. What else can you do with a knife? You can cut some rope. You know, I can, what is that?
Open boxes.
Open boxes. What's another thing you do with the wires? Well, whittle.
Shaving
What do they call it when you do that? There's a specific word for it. I can't think. Somebody will put a comment down there. But you know, you're taking the rubber off, stripping the wire. That's what it is. Stripping the wire. I mean, that's using a knife for a skill, but it has absolutely nothing to do with combat. And now you're going to put this knife here, which again, you know, it has its pros and its cons. Its pros are, if I'm a criminal and I'm looking for an easy kill, you know, being, you know, take down of the money, and I see you have a knife, I have to be cognizant of that, or I'm not going to have a long career as a criminal. You know what I'm saying? I do have to look at that. Now, if I'm a thug and I want to come and take somebody down, you know, who's up here, I don't want to just take them down. They're here and I want to take them here. I want to take them for the long drop, you know, the long drop, you know. I want to get the guy with the knife. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to do. I want to break the confidence of a guy who has confidence. You know, breaking the confidence of a guy who doesn't have any confidence, that ain't no fun.
That's easy.
You know what I'm saying?
That's bullying.
Yeah, I mean, I want to be a predator, and I want to kill predators.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the psycho that you have to be ready for. If you're not training for that guy, God forbid he ever comes and finds you. What's the other one I wanted to say? There was one other thing I want to say, now I've lost it. Knives, the predator. Oh yeah, my favorite crime. This is my favorite crime of every crime I've ever heard of. This is my favorite crime. And again, apologies in advance to the two victims.
Yeah.
So a guy and his girlfriend, this was on True TV or something, right? A guy and his girlfriend go out necking. And they go down to the railroad tracks, which are on the outskirts of town. And there, you know, it must be some kind of little, I can't remember exactly the layout, but there was like a parking area and the railroad tracks are here. So they're down by the railroad tracks parking. And, you know, Buddy wants to get some nookie probably, right? Doesn't have his own apartment or some shit, or maybe, you know, they just want to do something in the car, you know, whatever. So they're out there trying to get some nookie. Well, along come three cons. At least two of them were cons. I think all three of them were cons. So they see this car out there, and they probably know that the couple's come out here to do a little nookie, and they probably have seen this guy around town and know that he carries a couple $100 bills in his pocket. And meanwhile, they can't get good jobs because they're cons, and you know, God knows what the excuse is, but they got to come get this money from this guy. So they come to rob these two, and they decide, wow, his girlfriend looks good. His girlfriend looks good enough to have some sex with. And being that we're thugs, getting her permission isn't a concern of ours. We're going to take what we want. Well, you know, to be blunt, I mean, you're not going to put your thing in here because she might bite it, right? So she got like 2 working orifices where 2 of you can get busy right now, right? Well, what about the third guy? He needs an orifice. So what do? They rape the guy too. They rape the girl, and then they rape the guy. All 3 of them. We're not just going to screw them one time. Ain't no cars coming by. Let's hit it again. Let's get our nuts off a couple times. I mean, this is the guy you got to be thinking about. These are the guys you got to be thinking about because they are out there.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be oblivious to these guys. You can't be oblivious, right? You got to say that these guys are out there, and if you make a mistake, they're going to be gunning for you. I mean, could a buddy had a gun in his car? Could a buddy had a knife in his car? Yeah. Did they give a F? No, they knew Buddy was out there with his hot little piece of sugar, and Buddy had money, and they wanted sugar and money, and they didn't mind a little
brown sugar,
a little Hershey, let's say, along the way, even if it was Buddy's Hershey. You know, I mean, these guys are out there. I mean, I'm laughing my ass off
just to, I don't know.
because it's so absurd. That's what I'm laughing at. I'm
Yeah,
laughing about
that's
the absurdity of things. Absurd things are funny to me. I don't know, maybe you have to be laying underneath a building that got blown up for a couple hours, waiting to die, and then you get this way? I don't know. Maybe you got to get shot a couple times, then you get this way. A couple knife fights, hit in the head with a bat, knocked out. You know, it's not my fault that I'm this way. You know, life was harsh to me. I'm sure I drove the train in that direction. But anyways, you know, who are you training for? Are you training for your Uncle Smitty?
I'm training for a 3-man rapist.
Or are you training for the 3-man rapist who, you know, I don't know if he killed the guy or they lived afterwards. You know, that you'd almost want to be like,
Probably want to die.
I don't know, is dying, you know, is it that bad?
You're not in prison. You just got punked real bad.
Something you got to live with, man.
Something you got to live with.
Something you got to live
I'd be on a vengeful.
But again, you know, if you had your knife with you, if you had your handgun somewhere close, not locked in the glove box, you have a better chance if you're aware of stuff like that, you know. I mean, I can't imagine, you know, how far this went before these two realized that we are in over our head and the shit is about to fall on us. I mean,
Probably right when they broke the window of the car or whatever happened.
You think so? Maybe they thought they were.
I think it was probably right away. I'm not ready, you know.
Well, yeah, if you're not ready, you're not ready. Yeah, I mean that's a point too. But sometimes people are like, well, maybe they're only going to rob me, so I don't want to pull my knife out. You know, I mean that happens too.
Yeah,
you know?
that's.
They say they're going to let me go, so I'm going to get in the car and go with them. I'm not going to fight. You know, stuff happens, man. This is lesson 10 stuff that we're talking about right now. But you know, just rambling on, trying to get to our 2-hour lesson, into the 2-hour lesson, because we're on to a new lesson. But anyways, you know, there's all stuff to think about. You know, I mean, if you're thinking about it for the first time while it's happening to you, that's the first time you've ever thought about the fact that somebody might consider you as, you know, not just wanting your money in your car, but he wants to own you like his little bee.
Yeah.
You know, shit's out there, man. You can be ready or not ready. That's what I say. I was ready the last time it happened to me. Scared that little burglar away. That was so funny watching it run away. I almost started laughing. Oh man! Of course, you know I want to call out to him. What's wrong, pussy? What's wrong now? But you know, there's 2 of them and there's 1 of me, so I don't want to. I'm ignorant, but I'm not that ignorant.
Poke the hornet's nest.
Yeah. Don't want to poke them about. Is you want to trade a minor injury for the ability to neutralize the threat's attack. So you can't sit here and this guy has a gun on you and think that there's no chance in hell that I'm going to get shot. This works well with the reality thing we're just talking about. You can't be thinking there's no chance in hell I'm going to be shot. You can't be thinking there's no chance in hell I'm going to get cut. You can't be thinking there's no chance in hell that stick ain't gonna hurt. To be able to defend a major injury by just defending the attack or the weapon, okay? Many people killed by knives have been found with defensive wounds all over their arms and their hands, okay? So they're blocking this knife like a big dog. I had it happen with a bat when I was in a fight when I was younger. This guy is hitting me with a bat, and I blocked the bat twice with one hand, and then my hand just hit me somewhere and hurt like a mother, okay? You can't be thinking about that. What you have to be thinking about is I got to go through my stuff, and hopefully I'm only going to take a minor injury, and I'm going to be able to neutralize this guy's attack. So what we are saying is that we can't avoid a major injury by just defending the attack with blocks or by just trying to control the knife hand or the gun, okay? We're not going to spell like unusable. I was upside down in a bush, that's easy to believe. I blocked the bat with my foot twice, and it just ceased to function. I blocked the bat with my other foot 2 times, and it ceased to function. And then my left hand was weak, and I blocked it 1 time, and this hand went down, and here I was. Couldn't move my limbs because they had been smashed by this freaking bat. And now I don't know if you can see this scar here, but this little indentation. All right, so to wrap up lesson 7 here, I don't know how much of the rants I've been putting on here. I was ranting for a long time. So anyways, or rambling, I guess you could say. But let's get up to some serious stuff and finish this lesson. Let's talk about the empty hand versus weapon rule. Okay, so you are sitting here without a weapon, and the guy has a gun, a knife, a stick in front of you. Okay, the one thing you really have to be thinking